Alrighty, we should be live now. So how's it going, everyone? My name is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to my live stream. Today we're going to be covering Pokemon Horizons, episode 78. Liko, Roy, Dot, and Friede versus Entei. Or so we thought it was Lucius's Entei, but it seems like it's just, your typical Entei. Anywho, yeah, we're going to be talking about that episode in today's live discussion. Okay, so if you are someone that is coming across this stream for the first time, just a little bit of a lowdown as to what we do here. Pretty much what we're doing is, we cover the episode, but I usually give it a couple minutes for people to show up. At about the 5 to 10 minute mark, somewhere in that time, I'll begin talking about the episode, summarizing it, assigning a rating to the episode, and then I hand it over to the chat, whoever's here. And then we just hang out and chill for the rest of the time, usually. Talk about the next episode or what we expect to see in the future episodes. So yeah, if this is something you're interested in, it'd be pretty cool if you subscribe to the channel. Like the video, watch as much as you can, and, join the chat. We'd like to have you here. Yeah, this will be the final Pokemon Horizons live discussion for 2024, as we don't have an episode for the next few weeks. We'll be back on January 11th, though. Don't worry, we're not going away. Just give it a few more minutes. If not, we'll get started here. But yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday. Got a few more days until Christmas, so hopefully you are all having a wonderful day. And hopefully you have a wonderful Christmas if I don't see you guys before then. Been taking a little bit of a break when it comes to video game streams this month, but we'll be back in January. Might see if I could do a Mario Party stream before the end of the year with the boys. I'll ask him though. Another thing I'd like to mention here, can't believe I forgot to mention this earlier, speaking of the music you hear in the background, yeah, that comes from a separate stream, Video Game Study Lounge. Link in the description for the stream from Game Chops. It's pretty much the lo-fi remixes of video game music. As you can hear, they are doing a remix of the athletic theme from Yoshi's Island. They also have some original music in there as well, but yeah, mostly video game lo-fi songs. So it's pretty cool, pretty chill. Listen to it when I'm reading, studying, working out. At work, I need something to distract me from the workday. Yeah, so it's cool stuff. So you should totally check it out sometime. But yeah, we'll give it another minute here, and then I'm going to get started with my thoughts on this episode. So, haven't seen anyone in the chat yet, but I imagine that will be some people showing up here soon. Usually have at least a decent crowd here. We do have someone. J-Dog McFly. So they did a fake out with Entei? I had a feeling they were going to do this for a long time, but I'm glad it isn't just going to be a usual Entei. I don't like that, though. I think that it's kind of a bad idea to do something like that. I'll bring it up later in the stream, but I do have 3 possibilities as to what's going on. It's still not even confirmed, though. It's suspected that it's going to be the case, but it's not confirmed. We'll find out in a couple weeks, though. Yo, what's up, Thomas? I continue to think Gaujin Fire will be Lucius. I don't think Gaujin Fire will be Lucius. It's just an excuse to go to Area Zero. I predicted that Entei would run away, only the gang to chase it, but instead they planted a bunch of decoys. I have some thoughts, and I'm going to save them for a little bit, though. Sup, Kevin? KK. But yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm going to actually start, go ahead and summarizing the episode. So, episode 78 of Pokemon Horizons. We were able to finally determine where Entei potentially is at. In this archipelago off the shoreline from Olivine City. Turns out it looks like there's a new island that's about to form, because there's they end up coming across a submerged volcano that obviously once it erupts, it will basically create a new island. So that's pretty much what happens. So they kind of just hanging out there waiting for that to happen, and I also hear a roar. And yeah, they end up coming across Entei, our boy Entei, just hanging out there chilling. And we get Liko, Roy, Dot, and Friede versus Entei. So their starter Pokemon and then Cap. And it goes about as expected. Obviously, even Cap can't really do anything to Entei. Nothing they really do actually does anything to it. They managed to hold their own, though, surprisingly. I like how Crocodile actually gets frozen up by Entei's ability over here, and manages to overcome it later on, which is pretty cool. But admittedly, with this battle, it wasn't really like super crazy. The animation was kind of standard. But yeah, it went about as as you would expect. They're no match for a legendary Pokemon, but they did well enough to gain its respect. However, it turns out that it's not Lucius's Entei. As when they go to try to, speak to it, Terapagos doesn't resonate with it. The other hero Pokemon don't come out of their Pokeballs. So, yeah, it turns out that this isn't the Entei that we're looking for. So, we're brainstorming again, and Briar actually ends up phoning in and actually informs the game that an Entei was spotted in Area Zero, and also another creature that resembles an Entei. So, they're heading over there to investigate. Obviously, it's going to take them they need to get permission to investigate Area Zero, but yeah. So, yeah, overall, this episode was decent, in my opinion. Yeah, we were only in Johto for, like, a really short amount of time, but hey, it was okay. Another thing I wanted to mention, too, is, Amethio's father was revealed in this episode. Apparently, he's the director of, Exceed. So, interesting. So, I guess, Amethio is stuck working at the company now. Just kidding. But I thought that was pretty neat that, his father is revealed to be the director. So, that was kind of interesting. I believe we saw him before, too. I believe he was in episode 54. And I want to say back then, people were actually assuming that that was Amethio's father back then. So that was kind of interesting. So if you accurately guessed that, then yeah, congratulations. You predicted the future. Also, seems like Spinel seems to be in good terms with Amethio's father, which I find that to be kind of interesting. Still need to make that Spinel video. Wrote a script for it, but I was kind of waiting until the episode's wrapped up this year, so maybe I'll commence work on that finally. But yeah, overall, this episode was a pretty decent episode. I'd probably say like maybe a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. this Johto arc was alright. It was very short and sweet. But it was alright. But anyways, we're back to Paldea in 2025. So, right back there. And going to Area Zero, so neat. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on the episode? It was already shown numerous times that it's his Entei and not gouging fire. I also think that this is Area Zero arc is where Arven's Mabostiff gets injured. Probably. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Anyways, I'm happy they assumed Entei, so they went to Johto for a few episodes. It was alright. This Johto, portion of the series was very short, but it was okay. My least favorite part of this gen is Paradox in Area Zero, but I'm really happy that they are going to handle Area Zero. Looks good. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how things are going to be handled from here. So I do have some thoughts, guys. I've kind of made it pretty clear in my videos and my previous streams. I do not want, Entei to turn out to be gouging fire this whole time. It would be a complete bait and switch. I'm sorry, but they've been advertising Entei this entire time, ever since it got revealed way back when, a year plus ago. It's been in the promotionals. It showed up in the flashback. So, it needs to be Entei. If it's just it was actually gouging fire this whole time, and we Lucius and Ristal, they thought they were seeing Entei, but it was actually gouging fire. Ooh. Yeah, no, let's not do that. I do have three potential possibilities for what's going on here. So, possibility number one is that Entei, it is Entei that is Lucius' Pokemon, but it got injured or something happened to it. And gouging fire, basically, it ended up in Area Zero somehow, and gouging fire essentially is protecting it. Or something like that. And the kids have to prove themselves worthy and defeat gouging fire or something like that. And then it shows off Lucius' Entei or something like that. That's one thing. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that they're both there, but they're just kind of unrelated to one another. We fight it, but then the real Entei shows itself later on, or something. Or three, it was actually gouging fire the whole time. Or let me amend the second one. The second possibility could be that it was Entei, but somehow when it went to Area Zero, it reverted back to its primal state. So it basically just went back to being gouging fire like what it used to be. Although that would need a serious explanation for that as to how that happened, and not just, it just went back. Okay, moving on. They would need a proper explanation for why it's suddenly gouging fire now instead of Entei. And then three, it was gouging fire the whole time. Which I really hope we're not going that route. That would be really annoying, and I would actually have to take a point away from the series if they go that route. So, yeah. I feel like Amethio's father being revealed makes the episode a 9 out of 10. Well, he did show up in episode 54 originally, but back then we didn't know it was Amethio's father. A lot of people were already kind of catching on to the fact that it might be Amethio's father, just based on, his his hairstyle. So, Gibeon's son. Sango looks like she's getting Screamtail. That's a possibility, but we'll see what happens. Either that or she's just getting kind of, annoyed by it or distracted by it. I'm a little skeptical that the other characters are going to be getting Pokemon, but we'll see. Her blur was just wrong. Her Blair was just wrong, and Lucius Entei wasn't there. So that's a possibility, but at the same time, it kind of feels like we're kind of like going to the end of this arc, since Rayquaza is confirmed to be showing up here at Area Zero. That's possibly going to be the final battle with Rayquaza, or like I said in my video, either we start fighting it there and then it runs off and then we chase after it, or something like that. But I don't know. The thing about it is I don't want to. When it comes to Entei, I don't want us like going all over the globe, being like, oh, it's not at Area Zero. Where could it possibly be? Oh, it might be in Hoenn. Oh, it might be here. It might be here. Here. You know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna be here for sure. This is kind of like a, oh, you know, we thought this was our Entei that we were looking for, but nope, it wasn't. It wouldn't revert back, because if Entei would revert, then all Pokemon in Area Zero would. But it was already shown that regular Pokemon live there. I get that. I'm just throwing out a possibility. Most likely not going to happen, but yeah. I just don't want it to be Gouging Fire. Like, it's just not good writing when you do stuff like that. You build it up this whole time and then you just swap it out at the last minute. It rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, because then that kind of recontextualizes things. Because then it's like, oh, well, then it wasn't Entei this whole time. We just thought it was. So, yeah, I don't want that. If you notice in the new teaser, Coral with Screamtail at 2 different points of the day. She's seen with it at day and night. It's possible that it could be following her, too. It looks pretty angry at first, so I guess we'll see what happens. Or she just throws a Pokeball at it to get it to shut up. I don't know. and then ends up accidentally catching it. I guess it would add a kind of interesting dynamic to her, though, because she is kind of already loud and obnoxious, and Screamtail is going to be also super loud. So maybe it calms her down a little bit. Yo, Pokefan, what's up? You're good. We're still in the beginning stages of the stream, so. Or Rayquaza shows up to bait the gang into following it to Lucius's Entei. Do you think so? That could be the case, but we'll see. Megastone X, what's up? Honestly, when it comes to the rating this episode, I don't know how to feel. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I kind of I think it's an alright episode, but I feel like this Johto arc was just okay. If I were to rate this on its own for these 2 episodes, I'd probably say it's a 6 or something like that. Maybe even a 5. It's kind of just, it's okay. It exists. Gouging Fire is a better design? What? Kevin? Really? Honestly, I didn't like any of the designs of the legendary, but only that one. It's nice looking. The only one that's nice looking is Suicune. I was gonna say I don't like Gouging Fire's design at all. I think that's like that might be one of my least favorite designs ever. It just looks just off, in my opinion. Walking Wake is better. I just prefer Entei. Entei used to be one of my favorite Pokemon. Yesterday, people literally gave me 7 kinds of hell and back for not being a fan of Gouging Fire. Like, I'm talking actual mean and downright uncalled for comments. You know, if they're gonna be like that, PokeFan, I'm just gonna be honest, I would just block them. Because if people, and another thing too, I'm sorry, but like, if people are going to act this way over Pokemon and over literally just like speculations and discussions over this stuff, like, dude, I don't want to be that person that says this, but it's almost like, dude, just go and touch grass or something. I don't know. It's literally fictional. It is a fictional series. There's no reason to like insult and like fight people. There is no reason for that. We're here to have a good time. We're here just to have speculations and fun, you know? Just have a good time, you know? That's what the whole point of it is. It's just hanging out, chilling, having a good time, just, you know, giving our thoughts what we think is going to happen. You know, none of us can predict the future. None of us knows what the series is going to do. We can kind of speculate as to what they could do, but, you know, I mean, have I been right all the time? No. But that's the fun of it all. You can sit here and kind of just, you know, talk with people here in the chat and, you know, have a good time and, you know, just chill, you know? That's the whole point here, you know? We're not like sitting here, it's just like, oh, you think that way? Well, you're dumb. You're just dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. It's just silly, man. So, I in my opinion, like, if people are gonna be, like, just, like, cruel for, like, over this stuff, I'd be like, okay, yep, you know what? It's not worth my time. Goodbye. It's kind of where I'm at in life at this point, where it's like, you know, like, look, I know people aren't going to agree with everything I say. That's kind of, you know, when you run a Pokemon, or like, when you run a YouTube channel, you can't expect everyone to just like what you're doing, right? You know, you do what you do, but, like, if people are going to come in and insult you and, like, you know, call you all kinds of names, and it's like, okay, well, you know, sorry you feel that way, but goodbye. I try not to let that stuff bother me. I remember back when I first started doing this, it did, but, you know, you can't please everyone. But yeah, we're here to have a good time. We don't need to, like, you know, get into a flame war in the comment section and just be like, well, you're dumb. Well, you're dumb for thinking this way, you know? It's just Pokemans, everyone. I really think that Rayquaza is showing up to... Oh, yeah. I already read that, sorry. Or did I not? No, I didn't read that one. Sorry, Thomas. I really think that Rayquaza is showing up to bait the gang to chase it to the real Entei. We'll see what happens. I'm so tired of the idiots on the internet. Thinking Dot and Roy will catch Miraidon and Koraidon. I'm kind of, yeah, I kind of don't really think that's gonna happen, but I don't even know how they would fit into the story currently that's being told. I understand people really wanted Gouging Fire over Entei, but they just didn't understand how some could go, why would you prefer it being Entei? So do you think the Area Zero will be the remainder of the arc? It's possible. Seems like we're gonna be here for like a little bit at least. I mean, it could be just a couple episodes. It could be more than that. We'll see. I've been kind of looking forward to Area Zero for the longest time because that's like the one area in Scarlet and Violet that I actually legitimately like. Unique soundtrack. Thanks, Toby Fox. They really didn't like how I mentioned it was Entei for months and in the flashback, but then retcon it 3 episodes later. It's an awful plot twist because this wasn't built up good. I agree, man. That's the thing, is that, like, that's my problem with it. Like, you can't just sit here and build this up and then suddenly at the last minute be like, hey, actually, wait a second. No, it's actually gouging fire. We thought it was Entei this whole time. But it was actually gouging fire all along. You know, those... what Lucius and Ristel were seeing, they thought it was actually an Entei, but it was actually the gouging fire. Like, that's just... it's just not what they should do, bro. If it was gouging fire, they should have just called it that from the very beginning. That's just my opinion, though. I just think that, like, if they didn't, like, confirm it in this episode, they said that, like, oh, you know, there's a Pokemon that, you know, resembles Entei that's there, that they caught. But Briar also mentioned that an Entei is in Area Zero. So it almost kind of implies that they're 2 separate beings. Like, there's an Entei and a gouging fire just happen to be there. So that's what I was saying. I was like, there's also a possibility that, you know, they're separate, and, like, Lucius's Entei is actually, like, ill or something like that, and gouging fire is protecting it. That's another possibility. So I'm kind of hinging on that right now, so let me cope over here. I guess no Karen from the Elite Four. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. We were only in Johto for 2 episodes. Went to Olivine City and then to this volcano island area that's not in the games. And we're off to Paldea again. So I guess that's probably it for Johto. Who's calling me? Hold on. Hold on. Let me just put in an ad here and I'll be right back, y'all. Okay. Anyways, I am sorry, y'all. Got slightly distracted there, but we're back. Anyways, where did I leave off at? What I like about you as a YouTuber is that you don't create clickbait titles to get more viewers to become a popular YouTuber. Yeah, it's a little bit to my own detriment, but also I kind of like to stick to the type of format that I kind of have in place. My biggest problem with a lot of like the thumbnails now, it's like it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It'll be like I don't know how to describe it without, like, you know, calling out specific creators. But there's, like, a pattern to it that I don't really care for these days. It'll be something like, you know, like if I were to make a Pokemon Horizons clickbait video, it'd be like, Pokemon Horizons just hits different, y'all. And it has, like, a, like, thumbnail of, like, Liko looking, like, confident or something like that. Or, like, it is peak fiction. It's just peak or whatever. Like, again, I don't want to, like, turn it into me calling out other creators, but, like, I'm not, like, the biggest fan of that type of, like, thumbnails. And, like, as someone that actually got called out for, like, making a clickbait title and video a long time ago, it's something I don't really strive for. I do have that video from back in the day where I said Pikachu is totally going to evolve into Raichu in episode 35 of Pokemon Journeys. Literally sarcasm in the title, sarcasm in the freaking thumbnail. And what do I get from that? Called out by, like, half the anipoke community for being a, like, clickbaiter. That was the one I thought my channel was over when I made that video. Because I was being harassed. Like, Like, bad. They were going to other videos that weren't, like, relevant to it, and were, like, literally, like, jumping on me on those videos. Like, oh, Pikachu didn't evolve, dude. You're stupid, dude. That happened for, like, a couple weeks, dude. I thought I was done on YouTube, for legitimately. So... after that, I kind of learned my, not learned my lesson, but I'm like, I gotta be a little careful because people will just, like, jump on me for, like, the pettiest things if I do something like that again. So, had to be less joking on the channel after that. Otherwise, people would get mad at me. It probably won't be Gouging Fire. They had a whole backstory episode a few weeks ago, which I showed as an Entei the whole time. Briar was mistaken. Yeah, see, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, they showed it as an Entei, so it's like... that's why I'm like, if it's Gouging Fire, I'd be like, what? Happy with Paldea representation? So far, so good. There are certain cities I'd like to see shown off that we haven't seen yet. But we've gotten some pretty good representation for a lot of the areas in Paldea. Doing a much better job than the series that shall not be named. Not to mention the series actually added to Galar, so hey, there you go. The biggest evidence that gets me is how Terrapagos literally remembers an Entei, and when they find that wild Entei, it's like, my friend, how have you been? Why would it do that if it wasn't Entei? That's a good point, Pokefan. I agree. So it should be probably Entei. So maybe my theory that maybe it is, like, Entei's, like, sick or something, and Area Zero and Gouging Fire is protecting it, maybe that might be valid. They should have stayed in Johto for a few filler development episodes for the secondary Pokemon. Kilowattrel hasn't learned a new move since the beginning. Yeah, speaking of the secondary Pokemon, they didn't participate in this battle again. So, yeah. Liko, Roy, Dot, do something with your second Pokemon. Please and thanks. People absolutely love this theory that Lucius's Entei, and I'm not joking, went to Area Zero, and because of the environment, turned into Gouging Fire, because Paradox Pokemon are now suddenly regional variants. See, that was like part of my thing where I'm just like, well, there's a chance that maybe something happened where it, like, reverted back to, like, its primitive state, but, like, I don't really care for that. The series would have to really, really, really explain why that happened, and not just be like, oh, it just happened, I guess. The viral or popular YouTuber creators are constantly clickbait, like throwing Pokemon Horizons. Just reference Ash. Yeah, I don't really do that. It's not like you'll see me where it's like, oh, hey guys, did you see what happened in that episode in episode 76 when Sodio got like blasted off? They did a Team Rocket reference in this episode. It's a clear hint that they're coming back, guys. Yeah, I'll be real with you. Like, I'm not trying to like throw shade at those channels, but like I really don't want to like start like a fight with anybody. But like, I kind of disagree with that method of like, you know, putting your videos out there. It kind of just like, it gives people hope, false hope, especially if like he doesn't come back, you know. And I don't think you should do that, because then people are gonna come back later on and they're gonna be like, hey, you were wrong. Or just, hey, like, why'd you do this? You know, I was looking forward to this for like forever and now it's not happening. So, yeah, I'll just say this right now. If he was to actually make an appearance, I would wait until we have like actual like proof, like without a shadow of a doubt, like, oh, look, you know, it's actually happening. I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, this hint here, that means it's happening, you know. In like 3 months we're gonna get this episode with him. 3 months pass, it doesn't happen. Oof. But yeah, I don't really want to call out anybody. It's not what I want to do here. It's just that like my what I would say is like, I wouldn't do that type of stuff just because it would give people false hope and could also come back to haunt you as well, just because if it doesn't happen, then like people are going to come back and be mad at you. So probably not something, it's definitely not something I would want. I don't want to like make like a wild prediction and then, you know, it gets people like hyped up and stuff and then it doesn't happen, because then, you know, people would be mad at me. So, I mean, I could probably do that and suddenly gain, like, you know, 10,000 subs or something like that, but yeah. I kind of like to do things my own way, if that makes sense. But yeah. Anywho, enough of that. I don't think so, because it's not how genetics work. I get you, Thomas. I get you. That's why I'm saying is like, I don't want that. That's why I'm saying is I'm still leaning on like Entei and Gouging Fire being two separate entities, and this is just like, oh hey, you know, we thought this was Entei. You know, it looks like Entei, but like it's not. Oh yeah, Raikou and Suicune showed up in this episode. Anyways, moving on. Dot is my favorite. Tinkatuff was the only one shown in the teaser for upcoming episodes. Yeah. Hopefully the others do something here soon. It's not trying to complain about the fandom today, but they made it so personal I couldn't even discuss my feelings because they weren't veiled due to the whole fandom wanting something. Yeah, I'd just say, like, I would block people at that point. If they're gonna be rude to you, don't let them, like, talk down to you, man. I used to love Liko, but her personality is getting stale for me? Really? Making you mad. Hello. What's going on? Welcome in. Raikou through the whole episode. The hell is going on here? I think Ash will reappear, but will only interact with Liko, Roy, and Dot. That's if they decide to bring him back. I think it's best that he doesn't show up still. If they were to do a movie, maybe that'd be different, but yeah. I think Ash will reappear, but will only... Okay, I already read that. Sorry, Thomas. I meant Entei. I see. Maybe all three of them were like that, though. Dot is the best, and I feel like she's gotten the most development of them all, at least in the dub right now. I finished the Gleam of Terrapagos. I mean, I like Dot. I made it pretty clear that she's my favorite character in the show. She's had really great development. She's actually very relatable, and I think they've done a fine job with her. I have a few critiques here and there now that some time has passed. But yeah, it's been actually really good. So yeah, I would say Dot is my favorite character in the show still. I like all the kids though. Liko's fine. She's probably my least favorite out of the three, but I think she's a fine protagonist. Roy, initially I was very skeptical because I was like, ugh. Am I going to be annoyed with this kid for the whole show? But, despite a few moments of annoyance, I actually like Roy. But yeah. Anyways, crazy how we finally seen the Metheo's dad. Technically, we saw him in episode 54, but at that time we didn't know it was a Metheo's dad. Some people speculated that it was a Metheo's dad, though. So, let's take another ad break here. Okay. Dot is everything Koharu should have been. I agree. See, that's the thing, is when Journeys was airing, I remember people got on me because I'd be like, hey, Koharu, what's going on? You haven't been in the series for 5 episodes. And when she'd show up, it would be very minuscule for a long time. She developed as a character, but it wasn't handled the best. See, okay, I'll give you an example. Just to kind of I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here on the series that shall not be named, but to give you an example, in the early stages of Journeys, I'm just going to say it, but she was very aloof. She didn't really care about Ash, really. She was Go's friend, but she just didn't really care about what they were up to. They literally hey, you want to go on a trip with us? And she basically just shot them down. And she was described as being super cold and, not very friendly. But, she does develop a little bit. It's very subtle in the beginning. The one thing that I will, kind of just defend is that she did develop. It just wasn't, when it got to a certain point, it just wasn't handled, very well. Specifically when she got Eevee. But, just to kind of point out how she did develop, like I mentioned, she was very cold and aloof and not very friendly at the early stages of Journeys. But the Regina episode, I want to say the episode started off with Go giving a presentation on his best friend Ash in front of his class, which in hindsight is actually kind of hilarious. But they literally just brought who would be the champion of the world into the school, and Go's giving a presentation on said future champion. But Chloe was sitting there, and she's actually laughing to herself, and she's like, "Oh, that's just so like Ash." She's like, "Oh, that's just like him." She was actually she thought it was actually kind of funny, and that's not how Koharu used to act like. If this were early series Koharu and this was going on, she'd be annoyed. She'd be like, ugh, why did he think this was a good idea for a presentation? This is stupid. That's how she would have been at the beginning, but here she is sitting here enjoying it, which kind of just shows that she's developed and she's warmed up to, Ash, especially Ash. And she's actually, on friendly terms with them, and she's actually their friend, acts like one. She doesn't have that cold demeanor anymore. So that kind of shows that, yeah, she did develop as a character. She did, show a personality change. And she kind of became, more friendly over time. It's just in other aspects she just didn't develop enough. And she also wasn't shown off, like, a lot. Whereas Dot has more of a presence here. Dot is present in, like, every single episode. And honestly, ever since Terrestrial debuted, she's essentially became, like, the third main character. She's still kind of treated as a side character compared to Liko and Roy in the grand scheme of things, but like she just has more of a presence, and her development is kind of shown more like directly. Like she's not disappearing for 5 or 6 episodes and then showing back up. So that's the whole point I wanted to make there, is that like, yeah, Koharu did develop, it's just that like it wasn't like really shown off the best at times, and it kind of fell apart towards the end of the series, but it was there. It's just that Dot's literally being developed a lot better. I wonder if they will ever show her dad. Oh, Dot? Maybe. We saw her mom. That's a start. I'm in the same boat. Love all the kids equally, but Dot is my favorite without a shadow of a doubt. Her social awkwardness and such makes me go. She may not have autism, but she said just like me. But she said just like me for real. The series that shall not be named. Love Chloe, but wish she was treated so much better. Yeah. I hope the future Paradox Mons wouldn't be completely overshadowed. They're supposed to appear. It's just that the trailer didn't show them off. That's why I was like, technically we're taking place in Scarlet, technically. Scarlet's kind of got more dominance over Violet here, but, like, it would be kind of strange if the future Paradox Pokemon didn't show up either. But, like, I wonder how the series is going to explain their appearance here. If they are going to even, like, talk about it. But yeah, we'll see them eventually. Dot, Coral, Molly, Murdoch, Onya, Amethio is growing on me, and 2 are my faves. My least faves are Roy, Agate, and Ludlow. But Ludlow's a mighty G, though. He's kind of, admittedly, he's kind of just there just to kind of give, like, riddles as to, like, subtly hint at what, like, is going to be happening. But yeah, I just like Mighty G. It's just funny. I really like Agate. Like, I like Agate, too. It's just that they haven't done, like, a whole lot with her. They've done a little bit here. And I'm kind of interested as to what her and Spinel are actually planning. Like I said, I gotta start working on that Spinel video. I wrote a script for it, but never commenced further work on it. So I need to go back and reread it and see if I need to amend anything. I might actually add something now that we know that it seems like he's in good terms with Amethio's father. That's something to add to the script. I skipped the first part of Journeys. Didn't start watching until the Ultimate and Master Journeys. Okay. Yeah. First part's kind of okay. Has a very rough start. Then gets good. Then it gets bad. Then it gets good. Then it gets bad. Then it gets good again. Then bad again. That's how it was like watching that series. If Coral gets Screamtail, then who will Onyx get? I know he loves his rock types, so the only options are Iron Thorns or Boulder. Boulder. It's just a rock. It's not a rock. It's just a boulder. It's not a boulder. It's a rock. Rock. The pioneers used to ride these things all over the place. My theory on how the future Paradox Mons get involved is hilarious. Do tell. Screaming Tail being a massive blob is really odd to look at. Yeah, it's even puffier than Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. It's also more dangerous too. Dang, dang, dang. Right, sorry, y'all. Dude, why is everybody like messaging me at once? That's like 5 messages. I'm trying to stream here, bro. Okay. Anyways, y'all, I'm back, y'all. So after they go to Area 0, Onyx is focusing on shouting. Oh, pup. The area and being cautious. Onyx and shouting? Interesting. Meanwhile, Coral, being Coral, starts acting stupid and pressing buttons on the time machine, opening a rift. One from the past AU world and one from the future AU world. Oh boy. Sounds like that might be might open up a can of worms, to say the least. I only like Agate. Her romance with Spinel? I don't know if they're like a thing though. Unless that's a thing in the dub. Which I would not know that. I just feel like they're kind of just working together to achieve their goals, or whatever their goals are. That would be kind of an interesting thing going on there, though. And most of the trend is there's only one catch each arc. I think Sidon and Onyx just need to battle with his Aerodactyl only if it only uses one move. Yeah, they need to actually start utilizing, like, their secondary Pokemon are just used for flight. And Methio has Corviknight, and he's just like, I'll just use it to just fly me around the area. Nothing else. For the past year, I'm still imagining Koraidon and Miraidon stepping in to help and maul Rayquaza. Oh my gosh. See, I don't know what, I don't know how Koraidon and Miraidon is going to be fitting here, though. Maybe later on they get involved, but, like, as of right now, I'm like, what purpose would they have, you know? Terapagos has been like the main, like, central thing, like, Pokemon here, so I don't know. Guess we'll see what happens. I gotta go. I have some stuff to take care of. Sorry. No, you're good, Pokefan. You're good. You're good. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. I know we won't be having another one of these until for another 3 weeks, but hopefully I'll see you before then. I feel like coral catching Screamtail makes them even, because having a rare Pokemon Aerodactyl, they don't have a... Oh, before I move on there. You know, that is a good point. Technically, Onix does have Aerodactyl as a second Pokemon, even though he doesn't really utilize it a whole lot. So maybe having Screamtail would be kind of interesting. But then Glalie could be shafted, though. It's the only problem. They don't have a romance officially. I just shipped them based off their interactions. Oh, I gotcha. I also miss your thoughts on the theory. And your thoughts on the theory I had. If you due to a phone call. Oh, gotcha. You were in the middle of a phone call. So if you don't mind saying that again. Would that be your theory that you posted earlier? Give me 1 second, y'all. See if I can find it. I thought I actually... Oh, was it the theory about Lucius's Entei going to Area Zero, and because the environment turned into gouging fire because Paradox Pokemon are now suddenly regional variants? Is that what you were referring to? That one? Remember Arvin. Look, I am coping here. I am like an absolute cope. I mean, I got all this copium here. I am like really hoping that Arvin does something here soon in the series. Otherwise, I'll be sad. Oh, Coral playing with the time machine. I think I mentioned that. I was kind of joking around when I read that. I was like, oh no. I basically just said like, oh, might actually be opening up a little bit of a can of worms, and might be causing some problems with like all these Pokemon from the past and the future just like dumping out. Might actually overflow Area Zero and leak out into the rest of Paldea, throwing the world into chaos. And that's where the series ends. Sad ending, y'all. Just kidding. The lizards don't need to have an important purpose, but I expect the fight with Rayquaza and Area Zero to disturb them. Maybe. I guess technically they are Paradox Pokemon. So I guess maybe they'd be hanging out and chilling in there, maybe. Corviknight and Skarmory battle a tiny bit at least. Yeah, I guess it's something. Even though it's very, 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 and I mean very small in their contributions to the battles. I guess it is something. Better than nothing, right? If you look at the scene where Lucius found Entei, it looks like Area Zero. I'll go back and rewatch that part of the episode then. Gotta go and revisit it anyways. Well, anyways, gang, I'm heading out. Take care of yourselves and have a great weekend and wonderful holidays. You too, Pokefan. Like I said earlier, hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. I know it'll be a couple weeks before we have the next live discussion, but hopefully I'll see you before then. Whether it's in Discord or like on another stream. And see ya later. Have a good one. We never seen Entei from anyone's point of view, just flashbacks from stories. I get that, but I still would like it to be Entei. Just saying. The Raidens are paradoxes. Their paradox names are Winged Knight and Iron Serpent. Neat. I think Screamtail will share the spotlight with Glalie, but he will still get most of the attention. He will use self-destruct. Screamtail will use Hyper Voice. Then again, I guess if she has, blows up her Glalie, at least she has Screamtail now. So she can still battle. Corviknight will likely have screen time when Dot's Tinkatuff evolves. How so? And sorry, y'all. I gotta look something up here. Okay. Sorry, y'all, if I'm being quiet over here. Trying to multitask. Before I continue on, let's take a look at the poll. Apparently 9-10, or 10-9 is winning. 8-7 in second, and then one person voted for 6-5. Okay, guess you guys really like this episode. The thing I'm most interested about is how they will explain the Paradox Mons in the anime. Yeah. I'm kind of curious, too, how they're going to go around explaining that. That's kind of why I'm hoping Arvin actually shows up at some point. Please and thanks. Corviknight is Tinkaton's enemy. Its dex entry, this intelligent Pokemon has a very daring disposition that knocks rocks into the sky with its hammer, aiming for flying Corviknight. That is an interesting explanation. I will take it. The only thing is Corviknight actually needs to do something other than just fly around. And then what would happen after that point? Would just Amethio get knocked out of the sky? Oh no, Amethio is falling. What are we gonna do? I wonder if Agate Zuto? I know I spelled it wrong. Will show up in a long time if she when you use it to. Oh, you mean Knots? Oh, I know what Pokemon you're talking about. The one she used to teleport away. That just kind of threw me off a bit. No, you're good though. X-New or whatever. Probably. I mean, she's gonna use it once. She'll probably use it again. For me, she needs an episode to herself to make her interesting. I'd like her to actually be like a main villain for like an actual like part of the story. Because we've had parts where Amethio has had focus, Spinel had his focus. Songo and Onyx got a lot of screen time during Terrestrial debut. And she got a little bit, but like it's just they don't do enough with her in my opinion. They really need to do more. Well, I'm really needing that Amethio solo episode though to get his full on development. We need an Agate arc, maybe. Like I said, maybe have her the main villain for a little bit. Cause like she actually has a cool design and stuff, and I like her personality. It's just like they don't really do a whole lot with her. Out of all the admins, she's had the least like focus. She's like the, no offense, the least interesting out of all of them, and that's saying a lot. Because you got Amethio, who's Gibeon's grandson, so he's got a direct tie to everything that's going on. Spinel, who essentially is like Amethio's arch nemesis in the Explorers. And then you have Sango, who literally, like, she's a little gremlin. She literally, like, her personality and, like, all her antics really speak for herself, so she kind of makes herself out to be, like, you know, quite the character. And Onyx, even though he kind of is, like, you know, kind of just stiff by himself, he works really well with Sango's, like, crazy personality, so they, like, work off each other really well. Agate, on the other hand, like, she has, like, I think she's neat and stuff, but, like, we need a little bit more with her, I feel. I know that she's working with Spinel, which is cool, that's progress. But, like, I kind of need a little bit more from there. A little bit more from her. So, hopefully we'll get something here. Or the one where she's in charge of a plan. Onyx, too. Yeah, I just think with Onyx, like, I don't think he's going to get something like that. Like, him and Sango kind of have their own roles as admins and the Explorers. But, like I said, Onyx works really well with Sango. Like, really well. They bounce off of each other really well. They're each other's foils, so it just works. I do think he needs a little bit more, but, like, at the same time, Sango would need a little bit more, too. But I just don't think they're going to go that route with them. I would like to know how they all came to join the modern incarnation of the Explorers, though. Would be kind of something I'd be interested in seeing. I'm confused about the relationship of Amethio and his father. They seem a little distant. But seeing as Amethio himself got kicked out of the Explorers, like, not really much he can do, but, like, try to see if he can get some info from his dad. Like how Spinel just shows up and he's like, yeah, he's at that age. Or he's just rebelling. I'd like to know him a little bit more. Like I said, Amethio solo episode, please and thanks. Get it an episode to flesh out his character. She still hasn't revealed her third Pokemon? You mean Agate? That's why I ship her Spinel trying to... They're interesting to me. We need a lot more from her. Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. I know I'm in the middle of, well, not in the middle. I've been working on this Spinel video on and off, mainly just scripting it. But probably maybe giving a little tease to what I'm gonna be talking about in that video. But I get the feeling that, like, Spinel is kind of using Agate, and that when it's convenient for him, he's basically going to drop her. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, they start to catch on to, like, Hamber catches on to them, and then, you know, Spinel actually just ends up setting her up to get, like, expelled from the Explorers, or, like, in trouble with Gibeon or something. Don't be surprised if, like, he just turns on her like that. I get the feeling that they're eventually all going to just turn on him. But we'll see. I have a few thoughts going into this video, so I still need to flesh it out a little bit more. Maybe I'll put it out next week or something like that before the end of the year, or before we start having episodes again in early 2025. I just get that feeling, like, because I feel like Spinel's kind of out for himself, and kind of just using the others for like his own gain. He just strikes me as that type of character that likes to use others to, get what he wants. That's at least the impression I get. Okay. We'll take one more ad break. Okay, y'all. We've been going on for over an hour now. Typically, these streams are usually an hour, hour and a half, sometimes more, sometimes less. So, we got 7 of you here. Anything else you guys want to chit-chat about? Also, remember to vote in the poll. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And yeah. If you're just showing up for the first time, it'd be cool if you sub to the channel and like the stream. In fact, we got 5 likes. Can we get some more likes up in here? We got 8 people here. That means we could get at least 3 more likes up in here, y'all. Can we do it? Okay. Give you guys a couple minutes here. I know we be chilling here. Okay, you guys got anything else for me today to chit-chat about? Giving you guys another minute here. I'm just chilling over here. Let me just check something real quick, y'all. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any more chats, so we could probably bring this stream to a close. So, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. Looks like we got 9 votes. 10-9 won. Interesting. So we'll end this poll. I gave the episode like a 7, so how about we meet halfway and give it an 8? Sound good? Good? Okay. Alright, y'all. If there is nothing else, we'll bring the stream to a close. This is the last Pokemon Horizons live discussion of 2024. We have a 2-week break. Next 2 weeks we don't have an episode airing, and we will be having another episode airing on January 10th for episode 79. So we got a couple of weeks before we resume these live discussions, so yeah. But I don't know. I've been taking a little bit of a breather from streaming lately, mainly when it comes to video game streams, but we'll be going back to it probably in 2025 here. And like I said, I might see if the boys want to do a Mario Party stream to cap off the end of the year. So we'll see what they want. Otherwise, we'll planned for it maybe sometime in January. Who knows? But anyways, guys, that's all I got for this stream. So if there is nothing else, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, wonderful rest of the weekend. Since Christmas is coming up, and if you celebrate it, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Hopefully you get some good gifts from your friends and family. But with that all said, I hope you have a great rest of the day, y'all. Have a good day or night wherever you're at. And I will see you all later. Bye.